What is up, everybody? Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be doing another Mass Effect 3 gameplay commentary. Today I'm going to be using the Turian Sentinel revised build. Pretty much the new way I've been, setting up the Turian Sentinel, so I'm going to go and show it to you. The first thing I've changed is I've added warp to the build. I go for detonate for the first one just to help out any teammates, just in case they're using some type of bionic power or something. Then I go for expose. This is an amazing part. Honestly, you should always go for expose. I believe it's just so much better. And then always go for pierce. Those two together really can mess up enemies. 15% more damage overall, and then you weaken armor by 25%. That's pretty amazing. Alright, for overload, I go for chain overload still. Pretty much the same setup I normally go for overload. So chain is definitely really good on him. I go for recharge speed. You need recharge speed, guys, because I do use tech armor, and because I use tech armor, you need to be able to spam this power as much as possible. And then finally, shield damage. He definitely needs shield damage because if you look, his damage on this overload is very weak. So at least with this, you can pretty much take down shields of normal enemies pretty quickly. Alright, I'm only level 19, so I don't have this completed, but for Turian Veteran, I like to go for damage and stability. And then for the final one, I go for power damage. It's pretty obvious. But yeah, like I said, I'm only 19, so I don't actually have this maxed out yet. Alright, and then for fitness, obviously you do want to max out your fitness for all shields. It's pretty standard. He is a tank. And, oh wow, I just realized, I didn't even have this guy level up. So that's crazy. Let me go ahead and put that point into him. Like I said, so the final thing you would want would just be power damage and pretty much 3 points in the tech armor. For the weapon I'm going to be using the Vindicator. I really love this gun. Now for this particular, you normally need stability, but if you're going to play it on a Turian, you don't. So you just go for piercing and extended barrel. For the equipment, I'm going to be using Instructor Round 3s, Assault Rifle Ramjet 3, and Shield Booster 3. Another really good one would be the Shield Recharge Rate. Any guy with a lot of shields or like a tank, any type of tank character in the game, the shield recharge is like pretty amazing. Alright, now, first thing I want to say is, like I said, this is a revised build. I've been setting them up a little bit different lately. Originally, I always used maxed out tech armor and maxed out overload, but I've really fell in love with warp just because, I don't know. It depends on the if you have this setup like this, any enemy you fight, you could pretty much do a decent amount of damage to. If it was a Reaper, or Cerberus, or Geth, or whatever it is, you can, mess them up really easily. And, warp is just gonna really help out for any boss level enemy. You can hit them with warp, and yeah, they'll take a lot of damage. And like I said, any team members that you play with, you can help people with tech bursts, and you can help them with like explosions and stuff. So that's pretty much the point of this character, like in a lot of ways. And the fact that he's good with weapons, and he just is a tank. Now a lot of people, they try to avoid, I don't know, what I've noticed is that a lot of people like to avoid they actually like to avoid tech armor. Like they don't even go for it. But you definitely want the 3 points into it, I think. The reason why you want the 3 points into it is because why not? Like, at level 1, tech armor gives you 25% damage reduction. That's really good. Like, 1 point for 25% less damage. I mean, I would take that any day over anything else. Like, that's just amazing. Alright, so right here, wave 1, these two guys are going to get dropped, unfortunately, but I just told them, hey man, just stay down, because I knew the wave was going to be over. If you go down wave 1, guys, I would not get up. I mean, it's not really worth it. Like, like, more than likely your teammates should be able to handle wave 1 on gold. By the way, I didn't say that, but yeah, this is going to be gold, it's going to be Reactor. A lot of people also hate on this Vindicator gun. One of my favorite assault rifles in the game, one of my favorite weapons. Overall, in my opinion, this gun is hands down the most average gun in the game. Like, all the stats on it are just so average that it's fantastic. It's a very consistent gun. It's like, all around, it just does everything good all around. Like, that's the way you gotta think of it. You know, it's not the strongest gun ever. It's not, you know, it's not the most accurate. Doesn't have the most bullets, you know, anything like that. But it does work very well. It's a very lightweight assault rifle that, you know, if you have decent aim and you can hit them in the head with this gun, you know, it's amazing. And the other thing about it is that it reminds me a lot of, you know, a BR from Halo. And if you play Halo at all, you know, the BR is awesome. So it's just a lot of fun to play with. Alright, so, you know, unfortunately this game, you know, I do face this problem quite a bit when I play with people. Like Leap Master, he's a guy in the clan. And like Chocolate Milk here, he never really played much with me up to this point. I've only recently started playing with him a little bit. And, you know, most of the time, people just, they don't really know how to play the maps right, or at least the way that, you know, me and my little group, we like to play the map. And, you know, if you guys have seen Reactor, I'm sure you might know now, but the way you want to play Reactor is you want to start every wave in this, like, courtyard area, and then you just want to run through the map and force their spawn to be on the opposite side, so that, you know, it's, you know, it's so effective, because if they spawn there, you know, they really won't overrun you for real. And if they do, you can always just retreat to the middle for cover and run to the other side if you have to. You know, you can do a lot of things. And it's just amazing. So it was unfortunate that Leap Master, you know, he didn't really know, like, he kind of was messing up the spawns a lot. Same with Chocolate Milk, they were kind of both messing up the spawns a little bit. But yeah, you know, and like I said, the beautiful thing about this guy is that if I wanted to, I can tech burst. If I wanted to, I can, you know, I can also just do explosions for my teammates. You know, he's just, the Turian Sentienl is just a great team player, really is. And he's mainly, I mean, the way you want to play with him, though, is you mainly want to play with him like, you know, he's a weapon guy. Like, he's built, Turians are meant to be weapon characters, you know, to be able to just run around and use weapons. And that's just how it goes. So, you know, the main thing is that, you know, for a Sentinel, though, you know, because of the tech armor and the recharge speed, all that crap, you do need 200%. You really do need your 200% or close to it. You know, that's why, you know, you want to choose a gun like an SMG is good. You know, I highly also recommend guns like the Hornet or the Hurricane. Things like that would be good on this class too. But to be quite honest, I am kind of not a big fan of the Hornet too much anymore. I like the Hornet still. It's just, I don't know. If I was going to choose a gun, I would choose this Vindicator over the Hornet now for a 3-round burst gun. Just because, I don't know if they changed the Hornet at all, but, you know, it's just, it can be a really, this is a, like I said, this is an all, like the Vindicator is an all-purpose gun. It works well on every map. It works well at any range, close, long range, don't really matter. Like, you can use this, you know, use it on anything you want. And, you know, that's great. That's fantastic. But the downside to the Hornet is that that is a close range gun. So sometimes when you're playing Unknown, which is what we were playing right here, was Unknown. You know, sometimes when you're playing something like that, you might get a map like Dagger, and if you're trying to run around with the Hornet on Dagger, it is not fun. Or really, if you're trying to run around with anything that is close range on a big map like Giant or Dagger or, you know, Condor, you will just be frustrated. You will just not have a good time because, yeah, it's just not fun. Alright, so, you know, this game, I'm going to be trying to get as many gold medals as possible, so I'm going to, you know, I've already got my 5 grabs, and now I'm working on also getting my, you're going to see me go for some melee kills as well. You know, getting melee kills, I really think everybody should try to get melee kills if they can. Just get more experience. Why not? But, you know, the biggest downside, you know, to trying to get melee kills is that, I mean, and it's a big downside, is that, you know, if you're rolling with your teammates like you should be, like I said, you should never be off by yourself. You should always try to stay with your teammate if possible. You know, because this is a very, you know, this is a team-based game, especially when you're doing things like combos and stuff. You know, since you should do that, the problem is that if you know, if you're trying to go for melee kills, you have to almost tell your teammates like, hey, let's get our melee kills, or hey, let me get my I'm close to my melee kills, can I get them? Because, you know, if you are setting them up for a melee, let's say you overload them to get the shield down, you shoot them down to like 70% health, because if they're down to like 70% health, more than likely you'll be able to kill them with a melee. Your teammates will straight shoot them to death and steal your melee kill, and it's just kind of frustrating. So like I said, now if you're gonna try to do something like that, like that's what I did this game. I remember at first I was trying to do it, and every time I was going for a melee, a couple times my teammates were stealing the kills from me before I can get the melee off. Then I was just finally like, hey guys, I'm really close to getting my melee kills done. Can I go ahead and get this done? And then after that, you can just shoot everything to death. It's just what it is. Alright, so like I said, pretty much Reactor, Gold. If you can't tell, we're kind of milking this first Wave 3. This is really shitty right here. If this happens to you, you are fucked. You are screwed. And what I mean is, if a Guardian can trap you and, start to melee you, you can't move. It's really annoying, and right there, like, I couldn't do anything, and then I'm gonna get dropped again. Oh my god, I was so pissed. Mainly because I got dropped, but it was like an instant drop. I guess I get hit with the Atlas and a Nemesis at the same time, which can be very frustrating when that happens. Alright, yeah, any Nemesis, by the way, you can totally easily you can easily kill them with a melee once they're down to health. They have very low health, so like, as you can tell, this Vindicator is good. It really is. Now, normally I recommend stability and piercing for this gun. It's just pretty much, in my opinion, the best way to go, and that's what I've always used on it. But for the Turians, if you have stability, especially from that first Turian veteran, that 10%, so I think it's 45% total stability, that's all you need. It's going to have a little bit of a kick, but it's not going to really bother you much. And, recoil, like I said in the last video about the Saber, it can be a good thing for the most part. It just depends. And what I mean is this, is that, if you aim for their upper chest and you have recoil, just a little recoil, that little recoil is just going to help you out. It's just going to move it from their upper chest to their face and get you headshots. So, that's just something to think about. That's all you ever need to worry about. You want to get your headshot kills as well, and if you can, you should always shoot them in the face. And it's pretty easy to aim for their upper body and let your recoil, hit them in the face. Now, in this game, we were actually playing with, I think Elite Master was actually playing with a Asari Adapt. I don't know, was he like, I don't really know, was he actually that good at an Asari, because one of the issues this game that you might see is that there's going to be quite a few Phantoms that, he's like there and he's not going to stasis. It's going to take him a minute to stasis, and I know this because, I kept, like, I wouldn't say screaming at him, but I kept, like, bitching at him, like, dude, stasis the Phantom, come on. Because the truth of the matter is that if, as a Turian Sentinel, I know that if I'm playing with an Asari, all he has to do is stasis everything. If he was to stasis everything against Cerberus, I can, easily, I can go ahead and easily, warp everything in the stasis bubble and detonate his bombs for him. So, like the Turian Sentinel with warp and Asari against Cerberus, Asari Adapt, that's a great team. It really is. That's a fantastic team. It's just that, if you play as an Asari, you really do need to run around and stasis just every enemy. Like, that should be your only job as a Asari Adapt. It's just to stasis everything. And then when there's a big enemy like an Atlas or a turret, like, yeah, then go ahead and warp it and then throw it. That's cool too. But, primarily your whole thing should be to just stasis everything. It's like the same thing as an engineer. Engineers' jobs, for the most part, is to run around and overload everything. Especially if they have shields. Like, if you overload everything, you're going to help your team out. You're going to help yourself and your team out a lot. Because, you're going to be able to take down the shields. And that's a big part of, being successful, is that if you take down someone's shields and you don't kill them, it's not a big deal, because then your teammates will probably kill them. But you're still doing something. You're still helping out your team. So that's just one thing I wanted to say about those two different characters, is that those are, that's how you play with them. And I don't know if Elite Master really played as an Asari much, but
you know, it was a little frustrating just because, like I said, there's just too many times in this game where either a phantom would kill us or would mess us up because he's like, and you'll see it. It's like he'll warp the phantom instead of stasising it right away. It's like, what are you doing, man? You should just be stasising everything. You know, it's just what it is. All right, but all right. So let me go ahead and get back onto like this whole map thing. The one thing that's great about this map, especially for doing combos and, you know, shit like what we're doing, is this is hands down the easiest map in the whole game to stay together. Mainly because of the whole run through the middle strategy I told you about before. You know, you want to run through the middle, you know, you want to just run through the middle and then spawn the enemies on certain sides and all that kind of good stuff. And if you can do that, yeah, you know, you're going to mess them up. And it's, you know, it's fantastic. But the thing is that, you know, this map is only good because of that. Like, overall, this map is pretty shitty. You know, a lot of people hate this map. I wouldn't say I'm a person who hate them. I don't hate this map, but I also don't really like this map much. Mainly because, you know, like I said, it's dark. It's, I don't know, the spawns can easily be messed up. They really can be. Like, if one person is not following the strategy to a T, meaning that if you are at all on any other side of the map when they spawn, you're going to mess up the spawn, and they're going to spawn behind you. And you do not want them spawning behind you. It's a lot harder to fight the enemies in a courtyard. This is how you can think of it. Every map has some type of courtyard area. If you're in the courtyard area fighting enemies, you're gonna have problems for the most part. It's a lot easier to fight enemies from like this side of the map. Maybe not necessarily during this upload, because this upload right here can be a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this upload is not that easy. But overall, you know, this side of the map though is still a better side of the map. The other side where the courtyard is a really, really shitty side. I mean, and that's normally how it goes. You just don't want to fight the enemies in the courtyard, because that's when the enemies can hit you from all different sides. You know, they can flank you. You're out in the open. There's really not much cover. There's not places that you can run to easily for cover and do things like that. So that's how you have to think of it. You know. Alright, now one thing about this game as well is that, you know, we are going to milk this a little bit. Not too much, but I mean, I think this wave we're going to milk it too. I don't think we're going to milk wave 10, because that would just be dumb. I didn't have confidence that we were going to be able to milk wave 10. But, you know, we're going to attempt to milk this wave, so this video will be a little long, so I'm going to apologize for that. But I'm pretty sure people don't really care much. They, you know, most people act like, you know, they really like my videos or whatever. So, you know, I'm sure the longer it is, the better it is, whatever. But yeah, you know, right there, that was a good example. Like, if a phantom gets stasis, you know, and I'm able to bomb it for, you know, for the Asari, you know, it's over for the phantom. It's literally over, because it's gonna lose all its barrier, a little bit of its health, and it's gonna be on the ground, not moving. And if it's on the ground, not moving, you know, you're not gonna have any problem at all, because you're just gonna be able to shoot it. It can't dodge you, and that's the worst part about. That is literally the worst part about phantoms. Is the fact that they dodge on gold like crazy. I mean, every time you throw a power or you shoot at a phantom, it's gonna dodge you on gold, and it can drive you insane at times. But I mean, I don't know. Alright, so right here we're getting dropped. Unfortunately, like, we are just getting fucked up. So, you know, in general, like, you know, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I started to regret the fact that we were milking this, because you know, this upload especially on this wave can be very challenging. And I'm gonna go ahead and go down right here, and I believe I'm just gonna get up, because the main thing is that, you know, when shit like this happens. Now, I don't know what Chocolate Milk was doing right here. You'll see him go down in a second. But, you know, I actually went ahead and told everybody, come on, let's move to the other side. Because, like, that's the thing. If you ever get overran on one side, you need to run to the other side. Because, you know, you'll have a lot easier time if you're on the other side. You You know, because all the enemies are going to be still clustered up, still focused on one side of the map. And, you know, if you move to the other side, then they're going to have to move their slow asses over to, you know, the other side. And it's going to be a lot easier for you. You know, the other big problem with this, and unfortunately it looks like Chocolate just got assassinated. You know, the other really big problem, which is upload especially, is the freaking turrets. I mean, they can put like 2 or 3 different turrets like around that upload. So, you know, that it's a terrible upload. I mean, the only other worst one on this map is the one in the middle. The one in the middle is really ridiculous as well, especially against Reapers. Like in Wave 10, like that's one of the hardest objectives in the whole game. There's only a couple really hard objectives, and that's definitely one of them. But I also do believe against Cerberus, this upload can be very hard as well, because the Phantoms can rush you and, you know, murder you. Like, they can really mess you up. You know, and uploads in general are just not that easy. You know, its targets are always the easiest, and even I'm going to go ahead and rocket this too, just so we can go ahead. I thought maybe I can get a kill streak. Unfortunately, I don't think I did. And the main thing was to just, you know, push into the upload now to finish it. You know, and if you're going to do this upload, you need to kind of stay where I'm at right now. Like, this is definitely the best cover you get from the upload and all that good stuff. But yeah, we just completed it. I mean, and then now it's done. Now it's time to get the hell out of there, because, you know, there's no point to stay in that upload. That man, I mean, you do not want that to happen. That sucks. And this is funny right here. Just ran around the corner and smacked her, and that was my 15th melee kill. So yeah, I really wanted that. Alright, well anyway, here's the thing, guys, is that, like I was saying, Vindicator is good. I hate it. I cannot stand it when people act like this gun is bad. Because here's the truth about some people. Most of the people that sit there and say, "No, man, the Vindicator is like super bad. It's like one of the worst guns in the whole game." They have never used this gun, or they used it maybe one time ever. I mean, that is literally how it goes, like, for a lot of people in guns. People don't realize the Avenger is a good gun. Like, it is a good gun. Like, honestly, the Predator is not that bad either. Like, you know, the Mantis is pretty good. Like, most of the guns that are really labeled to be the worst guns in the game are honestly not that bad. Especially if you use them right. And the Vindicator is one of the ones where it's like, if you have never used this gun and you think it's bad just because, oh, the stats look bad or whatever it is, use the gun and, you know, aim for their head and just shoot them, and you'll be surprised. It's a great gun to put on any type of character that you want to, you know, it's a great gun to put on any character that you want a consistent gun on and you want a lightweight gun on. You know, like, it's an extremely lightweight gun. If you'll have 200% with this gun, and that was freaking crazy. I hope you guys seen that. I actually even looked over at that. That Phantom went freaking flying. Like, that was epic. So, man, that was epic. You know, what I was saying, though, this gun is not bad, guys. And I really, really, really wish it had more respect. It's one of my top favorite guns in the whole game. I don't know where I would rank it, but it's up there. It's in maybe the top 5. You know, I couldn't even tell you my top 5 favorite guns in the game. I really don't know, but, you know, this is one of the ones that I loved it since the game came out, and I had a lot. I mean, I used this a lot. Like, I used this gun a lot when the game first came out, because it was like the best gun I had, like, for the longest time. Like, you know, early game, you get this in veteran packs. It's like the best gun that you might have, and why not just use it? You know, one thing I really hate about this map is that I cannot stand the ammo boxes on this map. They are, not only are they one of the ammo boxes, see right there, I don't know what Chocolate Milk was doing. That's the kind of stuff you never need to be doing on gold. Why was he on the other side of the map? Who knows? I even said something to him, if I remember right. I went, "Hey man, what are you doing? Chocolate, what are you doing? Like, come over to us. We're all over here." He's like, "Well, I don't know where you guys were." I'm like, okay. Here's the thing, guys, is that if you don't know where your teammates are, you know, that's okay, I guess, but all you have to do is just look around in a circle. If no teammate is with you, you need to find out where they are and run to them. Because, you're going to have a lot easier time staying together in a group of 4 fighting one Atlas like right here than you're going to have fighting Atlas by yourself or getting flanked and getting murdered and forcing your teammates to go and run and pick you up. You don't want that to happen. If you go down in a group of 4, let's say one person gets dropped, you'll instantly get back up because someone's going to be there to just get you up instantly. You'll be dead maybe 3 seconds. And, this game can be very frustrating at times. It really can be. And mainly people get frustrated when they die a lot. But you will never ever see someone get frustrated when they die. Let's say I die. I'm like, oh man, what the hell? And then boom, someone's picking me up already. It might be a moment of like frustration that turns into like, oh, I don't give a fuck. It's just like you don't care anymore because it's not like you're gonna be sitting there tapping A for like a minute. You're gonna be sitting there tapping A for a half of a second. So that's the thing, guys. Like that's one of the main things about staying with your teammates. And this is, like I said, a great map for that. The only downside of this map is this has shitty spawns on. This is the courtyard that I was talking about. If you're trying to fight enemies from this courtyard, it is not a good thing. Like, you will get fucked up because the enemies can come through the middle behind you. They can come from that left side, as you could tell. They can come from this up top area. They're just coming from everywhere. And when you're fighting like hard enemies like Phantoms and Atlases and stuff, look at this. We're getting dropped. We're getting freaking dropped. And this is the moment of like, come on, let's get the hell out of here. Let's run to the middle. And, let's just not fuck with that. Fuck it. Let's not even mess with that. Let them come to you on this opposite side. It's way easier to fight them from the middle or to fight them from, any other side of the map than that particular side. And that's like 90% of the maps are like that. Those big courtyard areas are really just a giant kill zone for the enemies to die in, not for you, because you standing there, it becomes a kill zone for you. If you have a elevated position and all the enemies are spawned in the courtyard and you're just, picking them off from a distance, just murdering them all, that's fantastic, but that's the thing is that you're just going to have problems otherwise. Alright, so I just used another ammo pack. Like I said, I hate the ammo boxes on this map. They're one of the ones that are just really dumb. It's like when you go to the ammo box, it runs out of ammo very quickly. A lot of that crap. Really annoying. And I hate it. Like, I really do. I can't stand the ammo boxes on this map. But, and they're spaced out in really dumb ways. Now, right here, this is what I was talking about. Now that we've done our thing on this side of the map, and as you can tell, it was so much easier on this side. Now, the Atlases and all the enemies are pushed into the middle. Now, look at this. We're going to bomb these fuckers to fucking hell, and everything in the middle is going to die from that. And if it's not getting bombed, it's getting tech burst because of the disruptor ammo. So anything in the room, and that's the great thing about big boss enemies. When you're doing combos, boss enemies become like, they become like amazing because what happens with the combo is that you're doing the combo. Any enemies around them, if you're bombing them or you're tech bursting them, the smaller enemies are gonna die. So you can pick up like 3 to 4 kills just by bombing an Atlas because there might be Nemesis or Phantoms by it, and the radius of it is hitting them and it's killing them. So that's amazing. All right, so I think this wave's almost over. Yeah, it's over now. I don't know how I stole that kill, but that was what was up. Excuse me. Anyway, I don't really know what wave we're on. We might be on wave 10. I hope we're on wave 10. It's weird. Like, it's so weird how like sometimes the waves start instantly. Now we're on wave 9. Sometimes the waves start instantly. Sometimes the waves don't. Now, one thing about wave 9, wave 8 is a way longer wave than wave 9. Wave 9 is a lot shorter just because it's mainly bigger enemies. That's pretty much the way to think of it. Like, it's going to be like you're going to get more of the stronger enemies, meaning like against Cerberus, more Atlases, more Phantoms. But you're not going to get a lot of the little enemies. So, it's just like wave 10, like in a way. Wave 10 and wave 11 and wave 9 are like practically the same wave, enemy-wise. you know, it's a very tiny amount of like whack enemies, and it's a lot of the stronger enemies. But because of that, there's a lot less enemies, and it's a lot easier to, you know, to do it. Like, this is a great position on the map too. Like I said, like, you know, they're all spawning in that courtyard. There's no reason to run in there and just get murdered. So instead, we're just doing our thing. We're just sitting back here and just, you know, like hitting them with combos and blowing up, you know, just killing them. Like, that's just, I mean, and what Chocolate did right there was retarded. Like, it really was. Like, he ran into the middle. Like, like you don't want to do that. Like, that, the whole doorway thing we were doing where we're sitting by the doorway for cover and just, you know, shooting them and you know, bombing them and tech bursting them from that position, you know, that was fantastic. That's exactly what you should do if you can get them lined up on this map like that. It makes it so easy. I mean, it is so easy. Now, you know, that's one thing. You know, you definitely want to every time there's a phantom, like, you know, like I said, if you didn't notice, like, it took them forever to finally stasis it. And, you know, but once they're stasis, it's over for them. I mean, I think everybody knows that now. And then once again, they're running in the middle. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, what me and Drew are doing is what you really want to do, which is, you know, stay back, whatever. Now, you know, it's okay, I guess, because I believe these are the last two enemies anyway. So we're just all going to push up and just try to take this thing out. And yeah, it was. So that was the end of the wave. And as you can tell, like I said, that wave was pretty short. And really not that hard. It feels almost in a way that gold can get easier in the later waves, as weird as that might sound. Like, you know, if you might have a lot of trouble. Like, most times I ever have trouble on gold, it's always in the early waves. Like, I mean, we all go down, we all get raped, whatever. Then, like, when you get to wave, like, 9 or 10 or 8 or whatever, you know, nobody dies, nobody goes down, nothing like that happens. It's freaking crazy. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get him up. I actually know someone else got him up, and because of that, I'm going to get killed. So that sucks. But, you know, they're going to get me up, and then, you know, here's the thing, like, you really need to try to, like, now, this upload on wave 10 is really annoying. So you want to get this done, but, I mean, you're going to have problems just because there's just way too many phantoms. You know, you want to try to stay in this little position I'm at now. Now I'm just gonna go and rocket all these phantoms because I don't want to deal with that for real. And it's just you know, in Chocolate Milk he can't even stay alive. I mean, he's getting up and getting dropped. So the only downside to this little position is it's really hard to tell if you're in the upload or not. You have to really pay attention to the bottom, to the, like, the little feed, to see if, like, you know, everyone's in the upload. You know, because it's going to take a lot longer if only 2 people are actually in it, or if 3 people are actually in it. But, and, you know, you should always rock it too. Anytime an Atlas gets close, just rocket it away, and then hopefully, you know, there's a lot of enemies around it. And, you know, hopefully you're going to be able to kill it. You know, it's just what it is. So, now, one thing I wanted to say, though, in this video, is that I really, you know, you guys can definitely go ahead and recommend me to do any type of revised build. Because I have you know, like I told you before, I've revised most of all my builds. It just happens because because I'm so high level, and I have, you know, I have promoted all these characters so much, is that, you know, over time, what I do is that I just over time I just, you know, I just set them up different, and if I like them better a certain way, I use them that way. It just really depends on, like, how I feel about it. But like I was saying, though, because of that, you know, some of the builds might be a little bit different. So if you guys want to maybe see a video of another character that I've already done before, just go ahead and let me know. I mean, I'm still waiting for the DLC. When the DLC comes out with the Vorcha and stuff, I'm going to do a lot of videos with them, obviously, like showing off all the different builds that I'll have for those. Probably some of the new weapons too. Hopefully the new weapons aren't going to suck. And hopefully the new maps are going to be awesome. You know, like I said, as you can tell, Elite Master, he just, you know, this is the first game I think I ever played with him, so he was just not on the same page as us. You know, we were all chilling here because this is the position you want to hold down for this last wave on gold on this map. It really is. You know, if you're going to play this map, this is the place you need to stay, because you want the enemies to come to this side of the map, so at the end you're going to be able to push through the LZ and be, for the most part, safe. Maybe not 100% safe, but for the most part you should be like, if you try to stay in that LZ, you're gonna die. It's just that simple. So you need to, the strategy is to just get them to this side of the map. And of course, but you don't really want to fight in the middle either, like they are. For the most part, you want to just stay on this side, and then eventually, once everything, I think around like 30 seconds or 20 seconds is when you can really start to, think about pushing up and doing your thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and get me some ammo because I'm out of ammo packs, and we just got a third kill streak, so that's what's up. But, I just wanted to get the ammo just before we made the run for it, just, because you don't want to have to get, you don't want to be out of ammo trying to do something like this. Alright, so now we're going to make the mad dash for the LZ. Just go ahead and kill these, guardians that are blocking our way, and, pretty much get into it. Now, once you're into it, you're just going to need to, hold them off a little bit, and it can suck. I mean, it can suck, and you might get dropped, especially if you're not an infiltrator, and especially if you're not, behind cover or anything like that, and I got dropped. But, amazingly, we still got full extraction. That's really weird. That's not supposed to happen like that. If you die, I think it's like maybe different characters can get up faster than other ones, but normally if you died the last second and you get yourself up, you cannot get full extraction. It takes like 1 or 2 seconds before they count you being fully up. But hey, we got full extraction, so that's what's up. I'm not going to complain. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, please like, please subscribe, and like always guys, have a nice day.